Terrified passengers on Southwest Flight 1496 after dramatic nosedive. In a shocking turn of events, passengers aboard Southwest Flight 1496, which was traveling from Burbank, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, found themselves in a terrifying situation when the plane suddenly nosedived to avert a mid-air collision shortly after takeoff. This alarming maneuver sent passengers soaring from their seats, with many hitting the ceiling, while both children and adults screamed in panic, fearing for their lives. According to a spokesperson from Southwest Airlines, 2 flight attendants sustained injuries during this harrowing incident. The flight had to execute a steep descent to avoid an incoming aircraft, as reported by various sources. Caitlin Birdie, a passenger on Flight 1496, recounted her experience to Fox News Digital, explaining that she had previously flown the same route and recognized that the turbulence they encountered was far from normal. About 10 minutes into the flight, we dropped significantly, and I glanced around to see everyone thinking, "This is fine," Birdie shared. Then, in a matter of seconds, it felt like we were on the Tower of Terror ride, plummeting 20 to 30 feet. The screams were deafening. It was genuinely terrifying. We truly believed we were on the brink of a crash. Southwest Airlines confirmed that the flight crew had to respond to 2 traffic alerts shortly after takeoff, around 11 a.m. local time, which necessitated a rapid climb and descent to comply with safety protocols. Passengers reported that at least 1 flight attendant was injured during the incident. Despite the chaos, the airline stated that the flight continued on to Las Vegas, where it landed without further incident. In a statement, Southwest Airlines expressed their commitment to safety, stating, "We are working closely with the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, to fully understand the circumstances surrounding this event. We commend our flight crew and flight attendants for their professionalism in handling the situation. The safety of our customers and employees is our top priority." The FAA has indicated that another aircraft was nearby during the incident, while the flight was in the Los Angeles Air Route Traffic Control Center airspace. Following the event, many passengers took to social media to share their frightening experiences. One passenger, stand-up comedian Jimmy Dore, tweeted, "Myself and plenty of others flew out of our seats and hit our heads on the ceiling. A flight attendant required medical assistance. The pilot mentioned that his collision warning activated, and he had to maneuver to avoid an incoming plane. Incredible." In the aftermath, 1 flight attendant was reported to be dazed after hitting her head, while another announced his resignation. After the dramatic drop, the pilot addressed the passengers over the intercom, explaining that they had nearly collided with another aircraft and had lost contact with air traffic control. "It was absolutely terrifying," Birdie recalled. "I remember him saying, 'What just happened was we almost collided with another plane, and I had to make an emergency maneuver because we lost communication with the air traffic controller.'" The FAA is currently investigating the incident, raising questions about air safety and the protocols in place to prevent such near misses. What do you think about the safety measures in place for air travel? Are they sufficient, or is there room for improvement? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Southwest flight attendants injured in mid-air collision scare. Imagine being mid-flight when your plane suddenly plummets hundreds of feet just to avoid a collision with another aircraft. That's exactly what happened to 2 Southwest Airlines flight attendants on Friday, leaving passengers shaken and sparking urgent questions about air traffic safety. But here's where it gets controversial. This isn't an isolated incident. In fact, it's the 2nd such near miss in a week, and the 4th involving military aircraft since March. And this is the part most people miss. The military jet involved in this latest incident was a Hawker Hunter, a British-built fighter, which crossed paths with the Southwest Boeing 737 just 4.86 miles apart laterally and 350 feet vertically. The FAA is now investigating, but the bigger question lingers. How often are these close calls happening, and who's truly responsible for preventing them? Southwest reported that the flight attendants sustained injuries during the abrupt descent, though no passengers were immediately harmed. One passenger, Caitlin Birdie, described the moment as terrifying, adding that the pilot later confirmed they'd narrowly avoided disaster. The airline explained the pilots followed traffic alerts to adjust their altitude, But critics are asking, are these alerts enough? This incident follows a similar near miss on July 18th, when a SkyWest jet operating as a Delta Connection flight had to dodge a U.S. Air Force B-52 bomber near North Dakota. The Air Force claimed its crew communicated with air traffic control, but the tower reportedly failed to alert them about the incoming commercial jet. And it doesn't stop there. In March, the Delta Airbus A319 came within inches of 4 Air Force T-38 jets near Washington, D.C. And in January 2025, a fatal collision between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines regional jet killed 67 people. The FAA has since restricted military helicopter flights near the Pentagon, but tensions remain. Is the military's presence in shared airspace a growing concern? Should private companies managing air traffic control towers be held to stricter standards? The FAA and NTSB are digging into these cases, but the public deserves answers. What do you think? Are these incidents a sign of systemic flaws, or just the cost of shared skies? Share your thoughts in the comments. This is a debate that's far from over.